What's up, road runners? It's your boy C-Dub, aka Whit, coming at you guys with a very expedient 8-day review. All right, y'all. So as you can see, right here to my right, your left, you will see the Elite Directo X. So yes, the Elite Directo X sitting right here. Got that thing from Zwift, and check out Zwift Webpage right here down below. But I was asked for a review of this smart trainer and why I chose this smart trainer, and so I want to give you guys an 8-day review of my experience with this. I've put roughly, I've put 407 kilometers and just over 3,500 feet of climbing, and you can see my Zwift account overview page right here. So with the 8 days of riding, I have racked up to being pretty much on my way to level 10. I have put some time on this bike, just over 15 hours of riding on this trainer. To some of you all watching, that may not be a lot, but it's enough for me to give you a review, and I can tell you this, I'm happy. Alright, so I break this review down into 6 different portions. And so what these portions are, I will preview to you right here. And so right now I'm just going to pull up the Zwift account, and then I'm going to give you the technical data as to why I chose the trainer that I chose. Why I chose this Elite trainer. So again, the Elite Directo X, and some of the tech specs on this and details, and of course you can go to Zwift or you can probably go to Elite and get this information, but you came to this channel to get that information, and so I'm going to give that information to you right now. So the resistance type is electromagnetic. The flywheel weight is 9.2 pounds. The product weight is 33.1 pounds. The product dimension is 33 by 25.6 by 21.7. Again, that's 33.07 length, 25.6 width, and then 21.7 high. And of course you see that right here. So 21.7 high there. Is it foldable? Yes, it is. The 2 outside legs, you loosen the wheels and they actually fold in next to the center wheel that stays in place. The maximum simulated gradient is 18%. The maximum power output is 2100 watts. And then the reported accuracy is a plus or minus 1.5%. And so the wattage was a big thing for me because I have put out at sometimes 1900 watts, and again it may be a slip in the gears. I hit 1600 watts frequently. I've hit 1800 watts, but I just wanted to make sure that I had head space on what I hit. So that's why I didn't get, you know, the smart trainers that are maxing out at 1500 watts or at 1800 watts, because I wanted to make sure that as I get stronger that I had headroom to be able to push the watts and that my smart trainer be able to work with me. Another thing is that with the Directo X, it actually has a gradient, maximum gradient of 18%. And so I believe a lot of the climbs in Zwift, I think some of them may go up to 20. I'm not 100% sure yet. Again, I'm only a level 7 and I'm on my way. But 18% I believe will cover majority of the climbs that you will encounter in London, New York, Watopia, maybe not on Alps du Zwift, and I've climbed a little bit of that, but the gradients were not at where I was at, was not 18%. So thus really good with that. And a big thing that I tested today on my recovery ride was switching from my crank arm power meter. I have a Pioneer left crank arm power meter that's already on my bike, and with this this specific trainer, it has a integrated power meter. And so we're going to get to that because that's section 3. So that's the general information of the Direto X. Let's go into the second portion. Sound. Now, some of you may be wondering, what's the sound quality like on this? How loud is it? And the way where I have my trainer set up is kind of, it's in a corner. So it's kind of set up in a corner. So I think the sound levels are a little bit more elevated because of the acoustics of the sound. But I will tell you it this way. I don't have a decimeter, so to give you the decibels of the sound that it gives. There are other YouTube videos that do that. But what I can tell you is this. My TV in my living room, I normally watch it on a 9. That's just when there's no other noise going on and it's good sound, sitting probably a good maybe 10, 15 feet away from the television. Putting it on 9, I can hear the television just fine. When I'm riding my trainer, even while I'm sitting on it, and even though I'm closer to the television, I have to bump the TV up to a 12 and maybe even a 15 to hear it. And so I think that's not bad. Now, that's just general riding. If I'm generally riding, I could probably keep it around 9 to 12. Now, if I'm getting into a sprint and I'm having to really throw down some wattage, like 300, 400 watts, the sound kicks up a little bit. So I would probably say I probably got to get in like 25 on my television. So I think the sound is decent. It's not too crazy. My wife's been in the room sleep. My children have been in their room sleep, and I have been riding. And it wasn't too drastic to where they're like, "Dad, can you stop?" It's a low hum that they're able to deal with and keep sleeping and or keep on progressing throughout their day. The third category is the IPM, which is the interactive power meter. With the interactive power meter that comes within this, and not every smart trainer is going to have a power meter built inside. And I chose the Elite Directo X because it had this. And so recently, my crank arm power meter died on me, and I had to send it back to Pioneer. And so if this ever happens to you, and if you have a crank arm power meter, or if you don't have any power at all, this is a good power meter, a good smart trainer to get because it comes with an interactive power meter built into it. Now, let me give you a little bit about, and it also does the cadence. So when you're going through your Zwift setup, it's going to give you an option to pick, if you have a crank arm or a crank power meter, it's going to give you the option to pick that one, or you can pick the actual Elite IPM that's within it. Now, with that being said, I have noticed even today on my recovery ride that the plus or minus accuracy is there. I find that it goes up and down a lot more twitchy than the actual crank arm. And maybe because it's coming from the cassette here in the back part versus the actual crank arm where the power is being initially introduced to the bike. But I found that it would hold at like, let's say my cadence would hold at 80 and then it would be like 90 or it'd be 89. It was more jumpy than with the crank arm itself, where it was more of a smooth transition from 80 to 82, 83. It was less smooth. But again, it has it has a pretty low plus or minus accuracy, which is good. Of course, you want it to be perfect, which would be 0, but the plus or minus 1.5, I think it's like the second best out there to like the Kicker Core, which is like $1,400 or something of that nature. So I think that's really good for this. I mean, and it works. It was good. It was enough to give me data on the screen to let me know where I was currently with watts. And it's the same even with the wattage. So not just on my cadence, but it was the same with the wattage. I felt like it was on the higher end than what my crank arm power meter said. But again, if it's a baseline, it's what you have. So because I have a crank arm, I was able to compare it to that. The IPM, I was able to compare the IPM to my actual crank arm power meter. And I feel like the IPM was just a little bit higher than what the crank arm was reading. Cost comparison. So it kind of sucks because Zwift just lowered this smart trainer by $100. So it used to be, I believe, $799. So Zwift just lowered this smart trainer. I keep wanting to say power meter, but Zwift just lowered this smart trainer by $100. So right now, if you go on Zwift, you should see it on sale for $699 versus $799. And I think that's a really good price compared to all of the other ones. Even the ones that are like in the same arena as this one with the foldable, with it being foldable or not, I think this is probably the cheapest one of them all, having the highest gradiency accuracy, having the best percentage of wattage and cadence, the plus or minus 1.5%. Also, this has of the ones that are foldable in its category, has the highest power of 2100 watts that it can handle. So I think this is the best bang for the buck if you're looking at a smart trainer. So that's just my opinion. Leave me some comments down below. Let's go into the next section. Number 5 is setup and connectivity. Setup was flawless. It was super easy. Once I got everything plugged in, and it does not come with the ANT dongle. It does come with the power cord, but it does not come with the ANT. So if you want to get the ANT and the dongle, which means the 10-foot cord or cord to bring your ANT plus connectivity closer to the power meter, there we go again, to the smart trainer, I asked that you would get a dongle, an ANT plus dongle. And what that does is it allows that connectivity to be a lot more smooth. And so I would encourage that. With the connectivity, it went flawlessly. Like once I got in there, and of course you have 3 lights, you have one for power, one for Bluetooth, and then one for your ANT plus. All those lights will come on, they will blink. Once everything is set up, it actually will show on Zwift that you have your power meter set up, you have your cadence set up. If you have a heart rate monitor, it will show, sorry about the background noise, my goodness. It shows that the heart rate monitor is set up. And then one that I really want to speak to you about is in section 6. So section 6 is something that I picked up on and that I was struggling with in some of my races and even on some of my rides. And so section number 6 is the FEC reading in your, I believe it's called controller or controllability. It is the, if you're looking at Zwift, it is the bottom right square. You want to make sure that in that box, the reading has the smart trainer that you own with the FEC reading. It's like FE-C. You want to make sure that's there, and the reason being is because that will give you the best, the more realistic feel when you're going through 3% bumps, hills, rollers, so forth and so on, when you're in a race, where you're on a ride, a group ride, whether you're just, you're recovery riding. And the reason why I say is because I found myself in my biggest gear, in my 53 on the front and in my 11 on the back, and I'm still spinning that thing like, not saying that it was super easy, but it was not realistic. It did not feel real, because riding in that out here, that's hard. So being on the trainer riding in the biggest gear that I have, I was like, this is not good. And then being in races, it's like I have no bigger gears to go into because I'm maxed out on my big gears. So I realized that in the controller or the controllability box, which is again is the bottom right box on Zwift, when you're going through your setting up and getting everything connected, make sure that box is the FEC from your smart trainer is selected. It will pick a different one, but just make sure that FEC in that bottom right box on Zwift or whatever program you're using, just make sure that whatever is going to give you your elevations and your descents and your whatever is going to give you that realistic feel, that controller box, just make sure that whichever smart trainer you get, hopefully the Elite Directo X, but whichever trainer you have, just make sure that the controller in that section, it is FEC identified for your smart trainer specifically. Again, as you see, I put in over 15 hours already in 8 days on this trainer. I've put in over, and again, here's the card right here. I've put in some miles. I've leveled up a little bit, and honestly, my heart feeling about it is I like it. And of course, it's my first one, so I don't really have anything to compare it against. Now, I do have a Blackburn trainer, which is the real wheel on, where the wheel rolls on the roller for resistance. No comparison. No comparison. By far, hands down, this is I think this is better. But again, it's a smart trainer that is not a smart trainer. But again, if you're just getting started, there are videos out there that you could use, wheel on, rear wheel on, smart trainers to get everything set up. And I think they're going to go more off of your heart rate. And then if there's a power meter that you may have, they may use that. But also just make sure that your Ant Plus dongle is set up properly. Make sure it's all connected. That's going to help your connectivity as well. And I did deal with that in the beginning. I did not have my Ant Plus dongle all the way connected, and I was riding for like 4 miles, and then it just stopped. Nothing was moving, and it was my Ant Plus dongle. Make sure that it is close to your power meter so that the readings are, that the connectivity there is good, and all should be good to go. So hopefully that was enough information. Hopefully that was enough gabble, and I'll see you guys on Zwift. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for your time. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what decision you make. Let me know what smart trainer you're riding. And I look forward to seeing you guys. Ya Boi, C-Dub, a.k.a. Crit Whit. Peace.